Hey there, welcome back. Here we are at the script, what could be the most important part of the program if you struggle with coming up with what do you say. So we are going to get into exactly what you're going to say in your videos and all the things that come with that. But first, I want to talk a little bit about video creation mindset, right? Because this is often really a struggle with just getting those videos out there in the first place. We wonder, am I going to look stupid? Are people going to think I'm dumb? Are they not going to watch my videos? Are they going to hate my videos? Are they going to criticize my videos? And we just put all this stuff in front of it, and it's usually in our own mind where we question, is it going to be perfect? Is it going to be right? Is it going to be what I need to be doing? Am I going to make mistakes? How long is it going to take? And we make it often harder than it has to be. So what we need to do is start with our mindset, just like anything else in our business, right? When you first learned to cut hair, when you first learned to color hair, it seemed like this daunting task. You'd see these hairstylists making these beautiful creations, at least I did, and I wondered, will I ever be able to do something so beautiful? And when you don't know what you're doing yet, when you don't have that roadmap yet, you can't perceive or imagine how to get there, right? So it's just really in your mind because you realize that as you learn the skills, as you take the classes, as you do the practice, you get there eventually and you keep getting better. No one ever gets to their destination when it comes to being the best. There's no such thing. There's also no such thing as perfect. So the things that I would love for you to just remember as you go into this is, first of all, keep it simple, but be yourself. Smile and have fun. People are going to resonate with your energy, no matter what that is. Everyone starts somewhere, right? And there's only one you, so be the best you can be. You can get ideas from other people's videos. You can get ideas from other people's Instagrams, Facebook, Reels, TikToks, but you're going to be the only you there is. So that's okay because all you have to do is be the best you, right? You are unique. You are talented. You have these skills that you want to offer to more people, right? And there is no hairstylist that is ever going to be just like another hairstylist. There's never going to be a salon that's just like another hair salon. And that's why it's so amazing and wonderful to be a hair artist. You bring your unique talents to your skill as a hairstylist and even to your social media and everything you do around that. So be genuine, be authentic. That is the best thing you can do. People love that. People don't want to see this perfectly scripted, overly produced thing anymore, right? People actually want authenticity. They want you to be a real person. And you don't have to get it perfect. You just have to get it going, right? Little by little, as you do this, each time will get a little better. You'll figure something out. You'll try something new. You'll feel more comfortable, and each time will get better. So just start now. And I love this quote. You have to grow yourself into the person you want to show up in the world as, right? None of us starts there. Nobody starts there. You see these amazing hairstylists, salon owners, successful platform artists on stage at the shows. They didn't start there. They started just like you, learning the skill. Nobody started as an expert on social media. They started just like you, learning that skill. So you're going to grow as a person, and as you do, you're going to become the person that you want to show up as. But you have to grow, just like a tree. It doesn't start as a 25-foot tall tree, right? Or however tall trees can go. It starts as a little seed and a seedling and a baby, just like everything else we grow. And we choose who we want to grow as, who we want to become. So see that person in your mind, the person you want to become, and you will day by day take the steps to get there. So I just want to give you a little encouragement when it comes to not worrying about being perfect with this. And creativity can solve almost any problem. And I love this quote too, because you are a hairstylist. You are already creative. You're already an artist. You already bring unique skills to your profession, to your craft. And when it comes to these videos, when it comes to your social media, just know that creativity goes a long way too, right? It can solve almost any problem. Be creative. Think outside of the box. Become resourceful. Try something new. It's all okay. And so the main things that we want to pay attention to when it comes to our videos are 3 things. Grab attention, create connection, and build trust. These are going to be the biggest things that will take our system and grow it into something that actually attracts new clients. And without video, it's really difficult to grab the attention of potential new clients. If you don't do video, you will be left behind. Video has the ability to help your business blow past any perceived competition and bring new clients into your salon, into your chair every single day so you can meet and exceed your goals and have the business you've always dreamed of. And this is true because having videos is kind of like having yourself or a salesperson go to the door of every potential client in your community, in your town, and give an in-person presentation about your business on an ongoing, regular basis. And what we need, what we want, what we hope to always remember is that the number one reason any client books with you is because they trust you, right? We have to say this over and over, that trust is key, right? Grabbing the attention, making the connection, building that trust, right, is so important. So, great. We get it. Attention, connection, trust. We're building relationships. We're getting our skills out there. But what do I talk about? What do I actually say in these videos so I sound like I make sense, right? This can be the hardest part about what we're doing here. So what we want to do is, first of all, do not overcomplicate. Keep it simple always, especially if you're starting out. If you've been doing this for a while, you already know. Maybe you just really want more ideas. Maybe you already feel comfortable on camera. You've already got some videos going. But if you're just starting out, keep it simple, right? We want to bring trust, energy, and clarity to our videos. Trust, we already know. We want to build that bond. We want to build that trust. We want to be the expert and come across as the expert. And that is a lot of times what builds trust, is that authenticity and being an expert. But energy is a really great way to transfer that trust, to transfer that clarity, right? We need to transfer the energy through our videos. And sometimes if you've done this before, you'll notice that you might think you have a lot of energy and then you watch it back and you're like, ooh, it seemed kind of slow and dull. So sometimes we have to overdo the energy a little bit because it kind of dilutes in the camera, and you'll get to see that as you go. We also want to make sure that we are building that know, like, trust factor, again with the trust, but first someone knows you, then they kind of like you. That is when they will build that trust with you. And marketers have always, since the beginning of marketing history, used a simple formula called the AIDA model. If you've watched any of my other videos, you'll know that I talk about this a lot because it can be used in many ways across your marketing, across your social media, videos, even in print, right? And that is the attention, interest, desire, action model, right? These are the steps it takes to someone actually become aware of your business, which is the attention. Then they become interested when they see what you have to offer. They begin to desire what you have when you explain who you are and what you do. And then they take the action of booking with you. So we always kind of use these steps in everything that we do, especially when it comes to asking someone to book an appointment. And so let's talk first about what we're going to say in the story offer video. Now, again, these videos don't have to be super long. They can be anywhere from 30 seconds to 60 seconds. 2 minutes is like the most, unless you're doing a YouTube channel and you're starting to make longer videos, or unless you're sharing, certain types of videos that can go longer, of course. But when we're talking about Facebook, when we're talking about Instagram posts, they really don't need to be that long. So it kind of depends on what you're trying to do. You can also break the videos up and make it a 3-part, 4-part, 5-part series of videos, right? And make shorter videos so you have more content for your Instagram or your Facebook. So in this one, we specifically want to introduce ourselves, right? Who you are, what you do, and your location, right? And this can be very brief. And if you're doing the client story, you want to introduce your client, and you want to talk about where was she or he before coming to you, and what were the results of working with you, right? So we want to bring people along this client's journey, kind of not just the before and after of the photo, but before and after in her or his own words, right? Of who they were and who they are now, and how your service has changed or affected their life, right? Was she happy? And be very specific about what type of service that they have. Always be specific in all your videos. If you're talking blonding, if you're talking conditioning, if you're talking specific cuts, kind of have that one goal in mind for each separate video, that you're going to be specifically talking about that one thing. So if it's a client story, we want to be very specific about what her service entailed, right? What was her hair like? What are the things you did to prevent any damage, to correct anything that was kind of done wrong, to make things better? What concerns did she have, right? And we just want to talk about it. Oh, she came to me and her hair was very damaged, but she really wanted to stay blonde. So we not only used these certain type of color, and maybe I explained to her that it would be done in 3 or 5 steps, right? But we also used these different products to help maintain the integrity of her hair, and we did a special conditioning treatment afterwards, right? And kind of explaining the steps that you took, which shows that you're the expert. And then kind of at the end of the video, you make an offer. Here's what I have for you. Here's what to do next. Call this number, click this link, click this button. And it's important too with these videos to express urgency or scarcity. I only have 5 spots left. I only have 7 spots available. Or this deal is only for the next week. Or this is a Valentine's special, a Mother's Day special. Let them know that there's going to be an end, because this is really what helps people to make a decision and actually book the appointment. So as an example, you could say, if you're offering a blonding service, I have 7 spots available. Or you could say, here is a free haircut or a free conditioning treatment with your color services, 7 spots available, or only good for the next, 3 days, whatever it is. So that's kind of how that outline would go in that type of video. So when it comes to our explainer, demo, whatever you want to call it, educational video, we also want to remember in all of these videos that you only have a few seconds to grab someone's attention, right? Most of the time, unless they're coming to your website. But even if it's a YouTube video, but especially when they're scrolling through Facebook or Instagram or something like that, you need to catch their attention. Your first goal of a video post is to get them to stop scrolling, right? And people don't just stop scrolling, they have to have a reason. So you need to think of your first 3 seconds of your video, right? What can you do in those first 3 seconds to grab the attention? Most people only have an attention span of like less than a goldfish, which is like 6 or 7 seconds according to, these studies. And you really need to grab their attention, whatever you have to do to pull them into your video. That's why we say, don't be boring, right? But think of that hook. Think of that thing that can get them to at least stop scrolling long enough to see what you have to say. You can use props, right? This could just be your products. This could be your client. This could be hair, a doll head, or whatever the setting, whatever the thing that you're doing. You can use also music, add music in some of our apps. You can definitely add music to your posts and videos, and we'll talk more on that later. And demonstrate that you are an expert in your industry by talking about specific tips or tricks to help solve your ideal client's problems, right? This is the explainer. This is the demo. This is the education, right? You're explaining something. You're giving some helpful tips and tricks. And remember, this is before they even sit in your chair. So if you help them by giving them some kind of advice, some kind of helpful information before they even book with you, they're going to be more likely to want to come in and actually get a service done with you. And a way you could do this, go about doing this, is list out 7 problems or 7 common questions that you get, right? If you've been doing hair any amount of time, there are things that people say, things that people ask over and over. So write those things down. Just sit down and think about it. Around 7, could be less, could be a few more. But then you're going to write down the solutions to each one, right? What do you normally say when someone says, I thought about getting hair extensions, but I think it's just really damaging to the hair. What is your usual spiel, your script that you go into where you explain it doesn't have to be damaging? Now, obviously, not everyone is made for hair extensions, but for the most part, you can explain why this is just a myth, right? It could be someone who really wants vivid color, but they heard that the colors fade so fast. Why would I want to pay all that money and take all that time to get the violet or the pink when it's just not going to last? And maybe you have this great way of making the color last, or you explain to them, it doesn't last as long as regular hair color, but if you come back, every 4 weeks or every 6 weeks, or maybe you give them some color to use at home, maybe you have a specific way that you respond to this issue, right? Or, it could be that someone says, I really want to get my bangs cut, but, I just know I'm going to hate it and I wish I never cut them and da, 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 da. And maybe you have a special way of helping people do something without bangs, or maybe you take steps. So let's just do some layers in the front first and then let them get shorter and shorter and see if there's another length in between before you get to the bangs. Something that you often deal with when it comes to your hair services. So you're going to write down the solutions to each one, and you're going to make a separate video for each problem, right? So now you already have more videos, and these are explainer videos, right? You're showing people different angles of your services, and you're answering the common questions that people have. And now you've got at least 7, right? And in order to get more, you're just going to discuss different layers of the same topic, right? There's more than just one video that you can answer questions about hair extensions, right? You can talk one about, preserving the integrity of the hair. One can be about the right type of person who's a candidate for hair extensions. Then you can have a video explaining the 3 different types of hair extensions that you do. And then there's another video talking about how to care for your extensions, what not to do, how not to brush them, how not to, put conditioner on the scalp or put the iron too close to the bond, or whatever that is. So there's so many different angles. Or when it comes to blonding, you could explain the difference between balayage and ombre and highlights and mini highlights and heavy highlights, and all the different types of blonding services. You can take one at a time, right? So you can break these up into different types of videos. Another video style you can do with this is an interview style. So again, you could be talking to your client, you could be asking her questions. What were some of your concerns when you came to me for hair extensions? Or what were some of your concerns as a bride when you were looking for a bridal stylist, right? And why did you choose me? And what did you specifically like about my bridal service? And what's something you would tell another bride when she's looking for someone to do her hair for her wedding or her bridesmaids, right? An interview style is always fun because you can just ask questions to your client and record it on camera, right? Without you having to be there by yourself. It's just a different way to do things. And if you're in a full service salon, if you're a salon owner and you have all these different stylists, then you will have so many videos. You'll have just a list of endless videos if you can get a handful of people to help you out. And most of the time they will, right? If they're truly happy and they want people to know about you, they'll sit with you for, a few minutes and answer your questions. And hopefully you can even give them a free blow dry style to sit with you and record a video, right? And so they get something out of it too. Then there's a rant style, which is kind of like what I'm doing right now, right? You just go on about the topic, you just turn the camera on, and this is a fun way to practice, okay? As a side note, if you are not comfortable on camera, or if you haven't really started to get on camera, I would just encourage you to practice. Do kind of like a throwaway video or bunch, right? Where you just turn on your phone, put it up and record yourself talking about something. Now, I will warn you that the first time you watch this back, you will be horrified like I was. You're like, that's what my voice sounds like, and that's how my face looks when it's the opposite of what I see in the mirror. And oh my gosh, my face looks weird as I talk. I didn't know I looked like that. It's like it's a disturbing thing sometimes. It doesn't have to be, but it is. It's just different, right? And then after a while, you won't even notice anymore, and you'll just realize that it's kind of fun and people respond to it. And so you just start to practice, right? Just start to practice. Look at yourself on camera. Get to kind of feel how it goes. See if you're nervous. See if you need to slow down. See if you need to talk louder. See if you need to smile more. See if you need to use your hands, right? We don't want to just have videos where our hands are out of the scene the whole time and nobody ever sees our hands, because it's just a human nature thing where people actually like to see your hands. It's kind of a thing you learn if you look into body language and stuff like that. But a rant style is just taking a few seconds to just talk about something that you know. And I don't mean rant by going on and on about a negative thing. Let's try to keep our videos positive most of the time, just because negative is not going to attract the kind of people that you want most of the time. And then another thing you can do with this type of video is just standing in the salon or your suite, or wherever you are, right? If you can find a place to have like a little setting. If you work in a busy salon, it's going to be hard to do, but you can do it at home. You can kind of create like a little background, or it can be plain. It doesn't have to be super dramatic, and just grab your phone And or just, if you're outside in front of the salon and you just want to grab your phone and start talking, right? And like I said, practice first, get some ideas going, brainstorm, jot down some ideas. Hopefully this has sparked some creative ideas for you. And really, in the explainer type of videos, just talk about what you know, right? You can even say, here's what I'm going to talk about today. I really want to tell you this new technique of blonding. You've seen highlights, you've seen what people call weaves, you've seen the balayage, but this is something new. Maybe you just took a class, maybe you just went to a show, maybe there's something new that you learned and now you're going to share it, right? And first you talk about the way that the service goes, and then maybe you can record you doing the service on a client, but without talking, right? You just have a camera set up somewhere and record you doing the service. And then with some editing, you can even fast forward that part and then get to the end, take her picture, here's what we did, here's how it turned out. Super fun, right? So those are just some ideas. And the next type of video is our praise testimonial videos. Now, these videos are what I consider the most important because it's actual people having gotten the service from you, and now you can see how it looks and you can know that they're happy, and this is social proof, right? This is your biggest advertisement when someone is wearing your creation and someone can speak to the level of service and the quality of service and how happy they were to have had your service, right? And again, you only have a few seconds to grab someone's attention. In this video, you could have one or more clients talking about how great you and your salon and services are. So meaning you could have one client, like maybe it's not even that long. Maybe she just says, I was so happy to find Jessica. And does my hair look great? Or she could say, oh, I started out with this, hair I thought would never grow, and it was so thin and so fine, and she gave me these beautiful extensions, right? And maybe that's all she says, but now you can do a compilation and get like 5 or 6 or 7 clients to do a short little thing, like maybe right after you're done with their service and you style their hair. Like if you do hair extensions, you could have some, please just say, how happy you are. I am so happy to have met Teresa, right? And you get like 6 or 7 people to say that, and then you just put all those little snippets together in one video. And that's your video, right? And then you put some type of caption, blonding special, or, the name of the service, or call me at this phone number. And you just kind of just paste those little snippets of testimonials together. Or you could have one long testimonial. The kind you see a lot is where the person is talking about you and your services and how happy they are to have found you in your salon. And then maybe you show some B-roll or that kind of background of your salon, but their voice is still going over and you're just showing other areas inside of the salon, but their kind of little testimonial is playing throughout the whole recording. And people can edit that for you, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. And just, again, it's best to be specific, right? Have the client say where she was before she met you, what you guys agreed upon for the strategy to get to the results that she wanted, and how happy she is now that her hair is amazing and beautiful, right? So maybe they had some problems that they experienced. I always went to these stylists and I always wanted this certain shade of blonde and I could just never get there. It was always too gold, or it was always too ashy, or they just didn't understand. They always gave me chunky highlights and I didn't want chunky. What problems did they experience, and where are they now after working with you? And like I said, this could be a series, or you can highlight just one. You could also use before and after images and edit them together into a short video and add music, right? You don't even have to talk. If you don't want to talk, there's a lot of ways to do videos where you're just showing your salon, adding some music. Have like a little tripod set up and it's recording you working, and then you edit it to go faster and you add in some music, right? Or in this way, what you're going to do is you're going to get all your before and after images and, make sure you edit them just in a way that you just don't have a lot of open space on the outside. Just kind of crop them in nice and close and basically paste together the before and after images in an editing app, right? And then add music. So we're going to talk about apps in a future video. We're going to talk about editing. So don't worry, we will get there. And so you could also make it like a highlight reel of before and afters. So you're just showing, or you can have a highlight reel of just afters, just all your pictures of your work combined into a short video, add music, add some captions, and that could be a great way as well. And so then is your book with me offer video. Again, you only have a few seconds. Grab someone's attention. Be creative how you can do this. You want to entertain. You want to have energy. You want to stand out. Like I said, in the beginning, don't worry about being entertaining. If that sounds like scary to you or difficult, just be who you are, right? Just tell them who you are. Tell them why you're different. Tell them the reason why you started doing hair, why it's your passion, why it's exciting. What is a day in the salon like, right? You could just do a video about a day in the life, a day in the salon, and, edit it out. And again, be specific. What are you an expert in, right? This is where you're trying to get clients. So when it comes to Instagram, you can do lots of different types of videos, and not every video has to be a book with me now video, right? And if you want to, that's great too, right? But some people feel like they don't want to just be selling all the time. So you can use all these different types of videos to make that connection, to entertain, to give information, and then once in a while, ask them to book, right? Tell them the offer. Add the urgency, the scarcity, limited time only, and then the call to action. Here's what to do next, right? Here's how to get your free consultation. Here's the number to call. Here's the button to press. Here's the website to go to. Whatever that next step is, you want to be specific and tell them so that they don't get confused what to do next, right? Or just message me in the DMs. Send me a DM. Give me your phone number, whatever that is, right? And usually you want to make sure that this is the easiest, simplest way to get in touch with you. So don't make it complicated, because sometimes people will just lose interest if they have too many steps to take to get in touch with you, right? So really try to make this very specific. And, you can combine the book with me offer part with any of these other videos. You can show the testimonials and then say, here's how to book your appointment. Do you want this hair too? Book an appointment, 7 spots available. Or you could do your educational video. Here's how the blonding experience works. Here's how the hair extension service works. Here's how the bridal service goes. A perfect bridal appointment has a trial, and then, we get to see what you like and try out different styles, and then we book on the day of, and here's how to book, right? You combine these together. And the other type of video is our introduction story video. So this one is a little bit different than the client story. This is your story, right? And you can do this at any time. right? Maybe you have a new salon. Maybe you changed salons. Maybe you're working somewhere different. Maybe you were commission and now you're rental. Maybe you were rental and now you're opening your own salon. Maybe you moved to a new city, a new state, right? And you're going to retell your story. You're going to let people know that place where you've come from, where you're going, where you are now, the milestones in between, right? Bring people along your journey because you really are building relationships, right? These clients are going to sit and they're going to share with you about their life, what they're doing, their families, right? And so you really are building a relationship with your clients. So again, grab attention, entertain, have as much energy as you can, and stand out in some way. And then tell your story. Who are you? Where did you come from? What are the problems that stood in the way of getting to where you are, right? Maybe you started out and then, your husband got relocated. And so you had to move to a whole different state and start over just when you were beginning to build your clientele, right? People want to know the milestones of your journey. Or maybe you got sick, or maybe you found out that you were allergic to hair color. You'd be surprised how many hairstylists I know who figure out that they're allergic to some chemicals that we use, right? Or they find out that there's a chemical that we've been using that's not very good for the environment and we can't use that anymore. Or they discontinued this brand that you love, or this color that you love, or this product that you love, right? What are the problems that stood in the way? Maybe you went snowboarding and you broke your wrist and then you had to do something else, or you had to wait till you healed. And share your journey, right? And what have you achieved? Let people know. What are the certifications? What are the classes that you've taken? What are the awards that you've gotten? What are the things that have stood out to you as achievements in your hairstylist career, right? Or maybe you're an educator for a product line, right? Or a hair extension company. Or maybe you do something that people don't know about, right? Maybe you have a special hobby or skill that you do aside from being a hairstylist. And maybe you can talk about that. I have a good friend who is a curly hair specialist, and she's also a doula. So she helps babies come into the world. And she can't do it every single day because that would be too hard. So she enjoys keeping both careers and doing both of each at different times. And maybe there's not a lot of people who know that about her, right? Maybe you have a passion that you have on the side apart. Maybe you teach piano lessons. Maybe you teach singing. Maybe you teach a dance class or a gym class or a bar class, or, maybe you teach children, or maybe you tutor, or maybe you run marathons, or maybe you like to travel to different countries. Maybe you go on missions trips. Share who you are behind the scenes. People will really appreciate knowing more of you. Why are you different, right? And then what do you offer because of those things? Because I found out that I was allergic to hair color, I decided to just really hone my skill at precision haircuts or curly haircuts, right? I just do haircutting now. And here's why, right? And then why should your clients choose you, right? Give them a reason, right? Give them a reason to actually choose you apart from all the other choices that they might have, right? Don't be afraid to tell them why you're passionate, why you work so hard, and how you can stand out in some small way, any small way, among the many other stylists, right? And then finally is our company culture video. And this is a good one, especially if you have a team, right? Especially if you are a salon owner and you have a big team of stylists and everybody kind of has to figure out how to work together. So what makes you different as a team of stylists? And again, grab the attention, entertain, bring the energy, find a way to stand out. You can then show the inside of your salon or your suite, or wherever it is that you work, right? Show the salon environment with people actually working. What does the energy look like in the salon on a busy Saturday or a busy evening? And introduce yourself, right? Who are you as a business? Again, what makes you different? You can introduce your team, right? You can introduce the other stylists. You can introduce the front desk. You can introduce all the people who make it happen every day. And what are the values and ideals that are important to you, right? Why did you decide to open a hair salon? Why did you decide to go from a 3-chair salon to a 25-chair salon, right? What is important to you? Is working with great color product lines, styling product lines, getting lots of education for your stylist, teaching your stylist to work as a team, right? What is important to you, and why did you want to open your own salon in order to make things different? Maybe you couldn't find the environment that you were looking for, right? That happens a lot. Stylists go from salon to salon and they always want to change things. And they always I wish there was a salon that had this, this, and this. And then along the way, they finally get to the point where they say, I'm just going to do it. I'm going to open my own and I'm going to make it exactly how I want it to be. And that's a really awesome dream to have, right? That is an awesome business to have, where you can make it what you want and you attract those people to your salon that are the people who appreciate those things, right? And then include some B-roll. These can be cutaway shots to provide context and visual interest, and basically kind of those behind the scenes shots. Again, you can do kind of a voiceover that goes over all those different shots with a little bit of music, and just edit it all together to make it really cool for people to actually see more of that behind the scenes. And people love behind the scenes. They love to see the energy of the salon. They love to know where they're going to be walking into right before they even get there. They're interested, they're curious, right? So if you're that salon showing all these different things about your business, they're most likely going to choose you over the salons that don't show any of that. That's just how it's going to be, right? And so we can just figure out creative ways to make it interesting. So in the next video, we are going to be talking about the tools. What tools can we use to make it all happen? Even though we keep it simple, we definitely want to be specific about how we're going to put this all together. So I'll see you in the next video.